Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. LA Lakers and Golden State Warriors eye John Collins in trade talks amid $26.6 million player option. As the NBA off-season heats up, the Western Conference is turning into an arms race, and the LA Lakers and Golden State Warriors aren't standing still. Both teams are reportedly setting their sights on bolstering their front court by targeting Utah Jazz forward John Collins. In one of the final matchups of the regular season, the Warriors edged out the Lakers in a 123-116 win, a game that highlighted the razor-thin margins between these two contenders. The Lakers still clinched the third seed, while the Warriors managed to secure a play-in spot after a rocky start. But when it came to the playoffs, both teams fell short of expectations. The Lakers were ousted in 5 games by the Timberwolves in the first round, and the Warriors met a similar fate in the conference semifinals. Now, the next chapter in this rivalry could unfold off the court, in a battle for a key piece from the Jazz. Lakers and Warriors reportedly interested in John Collins. According to Andy Larson of the Salt Lake Tribune, both the Lakers and Warriors have expressed interest in John Collins. Speaking on the Locked On Jazz podcast, Larson noted, "There's been talk about the Lakers and John Collins. The Warriors were also interested around the trade deadline, before they pivoted to Jimmy Butler. While there are questions about whether Golden State can still make a serious run at Collins given their current roster and cap situation, the interest is real." Larson added, "He had a productive enough season last year that there's clearly league-wide interest. But I don't expect the Jazz to get massive value in return." Collins's contract situation could open doors. Collins holds a $26.6 million player option with the Jazz this summer, entering the 5th year of the deal he originally signed with the Atlanta Hawks in 2021. A sign-and-trade scenario is not just possible, it's very much on the table. While the Lakers have previously been linked to Jazz center Walker Kessler, a move for Collins may be more realistic, especially as they look for a versatile forward who can make an immediate impact. At 27, Collins is likely eager for another chance to compete deep into the playoffs, something that may not be in the cards if he stays in Utah, with the Jazz expected to face another rebuilding year. Last season, Collins appeared in 40 games, starting 31, averaging 19.0 points, his best scoring output since 2019-20, along with 8.2 rebounds per game. Given his production and potential fit on a contending roster, Collins is a name to watch. Both the Lakers and Warriors could come calling. And if they do, he may just be the missing piece that pushes one of them over the top. What a Collins deal could mean for the Lakers and Warriors. For the Lakers, acquiring John Collins could offer a much-needed scoring punch and front-court versatility alongside Anthony Davis. After a post-season exit that raised serious questions about the team's offensive consistency beyond LeBron James and AD, adding a proven scorer like Collins could be the move that stabilizes their second unit, or even allows LeBron to take on a reduced offensive load during the regular season. Collins's athleticism, inside presence, and ability to stretch the floor would complement the Lakers' core well, especially if new head coach J.J. Redick looks to implement a faster, more fluid offensive scheme. On the Warriors' side, the picture is more complicated. Golden State's front office, led by Mike Dunleavy Jr., has been walking a tightrope between keeping their championship core intact and building a younger, more sustainable roster. While they did explore trade options at the deadline, and even briefly pursued Jimmy Butler, the financial implications of adding Collins would be steep. The Warriors are already deep into the luxury tax, and any significant acquisition could trigger harsh penalties under the new collective bargaining agreement. Still, if Golden State sees Collins as a potential successor to Draymond Green or as a key rotation player in a post-Splash Brothers era, they might be willing to make the cap gymnastics work. Utah Jazz, rebuilding or reloading. For the Utah Jazz, John Collins' situation is just one part of a larger picture. After a disappointing season, the franchise is clearly in evaluation mode, and multiple reports suggest they're open to reshaping their roster around young talent like Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, and Walker Kessler. Collins showed flashes of the dynamic player he was in Atlanta, but Utah's timeline doesn't align with his prime years. Executives around the league believe the Jazz are open to moving him for future assets or cap flexibility, especially if he ups into his player option. And that's where the sign-and-trade scenario becomes even more likely. Utah could leverage Collins' value to bring in a young player, draft capital, or simply clear the books, A smart play for a franchise not quite ready to compete in the stacked Western Conference. League-wide reaction and what comes next. NBA insiders have been buzzing about the potential movement of John Collins since the Jazz season ended. Several teams are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, not just the Lakers and Warriors. However, both franchises' interest has drawn the most attention due to their win-now mentality and the pressure to capitalize on aging superstars. Social media reaction has been mixed, with Lakers fans showing optimism that Collins could finally provide the size and scoring the team has lacked off the bench. Warriors fans, on the other hand, are more divided, unsure whether adding another front-court player without a clear defensive identity would truly move the needle. For now, all eyes are on John Collins and the decision he'll make regarding his player option. That choice will set off a chain reaction, not just for him, but for three franchises with very different futures on the line. If he opts in and a sign and trade is pursued, expect talks to heat up quickly. If he tests free agency outright, the bidding war could extend well into July. Either way, the Western Conference could look very different by the time training camp rolls around, and John Collins might just be at the heart of it. ESPN floats blockbuster trade sending Giannis to Warriors, Draymond Green to Lakers. The NBA rumor mill is in overdrive, and at the center of it is none other than Giannis Antetokounmpo. With whispers growing louder about the Greek freak potentially exploring life beyond Milwaukee, rival teams are lining up, eager to pitch their case. Among the suitors, the Celtics, Mavericks, Knicks, and now, surprisingly, the Golden State Warriors. In a bold proposal that's making waves across the league, ESPN laid out a jaw-dropping four-team trade scenario involving the Warriors, Lakers, Mavericks, and Bucks, one that could reshape the Western Conference as we know it. The deal that shakes the NBA to its core. Here's how the hypothetical megadeal breaks down. Dallas Mavericks receive Gabe Vincent, 2031 first-round pick, via Lakers, 2025 second-round pick, number 41 overall. Milwaukee Bucks receive Austin Reeves, Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, via sign and trade, Trace Jackson-Davis, Maxi Kleber, 2029 first-round pick, via Warriors, 2031 first-round pick, via Warriors, 2030 first-round pick swap, via Lakers. Golden State Warriors receive Giannis Antetokounmpo. Los Angeles Lakers receive Draymond Green, Daniel Gafford. This isn't just a trade, it's a seismic shift. Every team involved walks away looking radically different. And while the logistics would require surgical precision, the potential rewards could be monumental. Warriors, a dynasty in transition. Letting go of Draymond Green would mark the symbolic end of an era for Golden State. He's not just a player, he's the heartbeat of their dynasty, the defensive anchor, the emotional engine. His departure would close a defining chapter in Warriors history. But in exchange, they get Giannis Antetokounmpo, a generational talent who could extend their championship window alongside Stephen Curry. Pairing the two would instantly create one of the most terrifying duos the league has ever seen. Imagine the pace, the power, the defensive versatility. It's a gamble, yes, but one that could deliver massive returns. Of course, Golden State will have to part ways with key young assets, Podziemski, Kuminga, Jackson-Davis, players who are being groomed to carry the torch forward. But with Giannis on board, the Warriors would be all in once again. Lakers, the silent winners? In this scenario, the Lakers come out looking like strategic geniuses. Landing Draymond Green gives them exactly what they've lacked: defensive toughness, leadership, and high IQ playmaking that fits perfectly next to LeBron James. Add in Daniel Gafford, and suddenly the Lakers have an elite rim protector. Someone who can hold down the paint and take pressure off Anthony Davis, or even replace him if trade winds blow that direction. Yes, parting ways with Austin Reeves stings. He's beloved by fans and has shown tremendous growth. But the return? Proven veterans who can impact winning immediately. It's a trade-off that makes sense for a team in win-now mode. Bucks, a new chapter begins. For Milwaukee, trading away Giannis is unthinkable, until it's not. This proposed package gives them depth, youth, and draft capital, a foundation to rebuild around or use as leverage for future deals. Reeves could become a fan favorite. Kuminga and Podziemski offer serious upside. Trace Jackson-Davis is a high-energy big with two-way potential. Still, the value doesn't feel equal on paper, and that's the risk. Giannis is arguably the most dominant two-way force in the game. Can a handful of young players and future picks truly match what he brings? Some argue the Bucks should hold out for more, perhaps a centerpiece like Scottie Barnes or Alperen Sengun. But if the goal is a hard reset, this package offers versatility and long-term flexibility. Mavericks, a smart financial pivot. The Mavericks are mostly here as financial facilitators, and they play their role well. By moving Gafford and Kleber, Dallas clears space and adds Gabe Vincent, a steady playoff-tested guard. They also collect valuable future draft picks, which could be used to support their Luka-centric roster in the years ahead. It's not flashy, but it's smart. And sometimes, smart is exactly what a contender needs. A trade that could redefine the West. If this deal were to happen, its shockwaves would be felt instantly. The Warriors reload and launch into superteam status. The Lakers get tougher, smarter, and more dangerous. The Bucks begin a new era, with options galore. The Mavericks add flexibility and depth around Luka Doncic. It would also throw the Western Conference into chaos, and put pressure on teams like the Thunder, Nuggets, and Clippers to respond. Of course, for now, it's just speculation. But as we've seen time and again in the NBA, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Media reaction and fan buzz, a league on alert. As expected, the internet exploded after ESPN's proposal hit the airwaves. Social media timelines filled with reactions, from disbelief to cautious optimism, as fans and analysts weighed in on what would arguably be one of the most consequential trades in NBA history. Lakers Nation responded with excitement and skepticism in equal measure. Many welcomed the idea of adding Draymond Green's championship experience and defensive grit, seeing him as an ideal on-court extension of LeBron James. Others, however, lamented the potential loss of Austin Reeves, a homegrown fan favorite who has proven himself in key playoff moments. Warriors fans found themselves emotionally torn. On one hand, acquiring Giannis would catapult Golden State back to the top of the title conversation. On the other, moving on from Green, the emotional leader and defensive backbone of the dynasty, feels like closing a beloved chapter. It's the type of deal that forces franchises to choose between legacy and longevity. And in Milwaukee, the reaction has been understandably more anxious. Trading a two-time MVP isn't just a basketball decision, it's a cultural earthquake. Some fans believe the proposed return isn't enough for a player of Giannis' stature, even with promising young talent in the mix. Others recognize that if the writing is on the wall, getting ahead of a potential departure might be the most strategic move. Front office pressure mounts. What makes this hypothetical trade even more compelling is the pressure each front office is currently under. The Lakers are trying to squeeze every last drop out of the LeBron James era while also preparing for the future. New head coach JJ Redick may prefer a more veteran-laden squad to implement his modern, pass-heavy system. The Warriors are facing an identity crossroads. Do they commit to a full youth movement, or try to extend Steph Curry's title window with one final superstar swing? Acquiring Giannis would send a clear message: we're not done yet. The Bucks are walking a tightrope between keeping Giannis happy and rebuilding responsibly. This trade signals a potential pivot, a strategic move to retool now rather than risk losing their star for nothing later. And the Mavericks? They've already made bold moves to surround Luka Doncic with talent. This one would give them financial flexibility and future picks to continue building smartly around him. The domino effect. What happens next? Should a trade of this magnitude actually happen, the ripple effects will be felt across the league, both on and off the court. Oklahoma City, Denver, and Minnesota, the current powers in the West, would be forced to reevaluate their rosters. Do they make a move to keep pace with this new Warriors superteam or revamped Lakers squad? Small market teams may begin reconsidering how they manage superstar talent long-term. If Milwaukee can't hold on to Giannis despite building around him for years, what does that mean for other teams banking on loyalty? Future free agency moves would become even more dramatic. With Golden State and Los Angeles becoming destination hotspots again, veterans looking for rings could flock to either coast, creating a power imbalance that echoes the superteam era of the late 2010s. Could this actually happen? While the ESPN proposal is purely speculative at this stage, insiders believe it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Giannis has made cryptic comments in the past about wanting to win wherever that may be, and Milwaukee has already experienced the bitter loss of Drew Holiday and coach Mike Budenholzer in recent seasons. Golden State, meanwhile, has always been aggressive when stars become available. Remember the Kevin Durant saga? If they believe Giannis is even remotely gettable, they'll explore every avenue. And the Lakers? They're always in the mix. Rob Pelinka has shown he's willing to take big swings when championships are on the line. Final thoughts. A trade that changes everything. If this blockbuster trade were to actually go through, it would fundamentally shift the balance of power in the NBA. It would mark the official end of the Warriors dynasty as we know it, and perhaps the birth of a new one. It would supercharge the Lakers in their twilight run with LeBron James. It would signal Milwaukee's decision to retool rather than reload. And it would quietly empower Dallas to remain flexible and dangerous. Deals like this don't come around often. But if the stars align, literally and figuratively, we could be on the brink of the most game-changing off-season move in years. Stay tuned. The summer just got a whole lot more interesting.